Do you believe in it? Do you believe in the law of diminishing returns? Do you? Do you believe in that law? I'm asking you a direct question. No, it's like I do not believe. I am a lawbreaker. If there is such a law, come and put the cuffs on me now, because I break that law all the time. And I always have. From my salesman's days, even before I was in the business, I never quite understood that. It seems like a convenient excuse, right? Oh, anything more than $2,000 for a pair of speakers, you don't really get that much more. You can spend $20,000, you only get a little bit more. Really? No, that's not true. And the people who say it the loudest talk about the law of diminishing returns clearly are inexperienced audiophiles because they never heard it. Or they're basing their opinions of very expensive gear on what they heard at a show or something, a hi-fi show or maybe a dealer. Yeah, it's not the best way, because the best stuff, the really, really good stuff, takes a lot of care and feeding and setup skills to make it sound right. So something thrown together at a show or a deal, even in a dealer's demo rooms get put together and taken apart, many times a day. At least that's the way it worked when I sold hi-fi. I did my best, but I could never really, really, really take the time to nail it down to make this room 3, sound perfect. Because as soon as I did, 5 minutes later, someone was going to say, I need those speakers, I need those cables, I need that DAC or something, take it to another room. So that never really happened in a store. At least not a busy store. If it's a store that doesn't have a lot of traffic through it, I guess you could really take the time and just lock down a room and make it sound really great. It's not just my experience. When I've been to other stores, and I do that a lot, especially in pre-COVID times, yeah, sound at stores is a hint of what's possible, really. Never really shows the true potential. So if you're basing your opinions about diminishing returns based on what you heard at a show or a dealer, I'm here to say that's just not fair. You're not being fair to yourself if you think that's all there is. Or you're just making an excuse because you can't buy the more expensive thing, and you're saying, well, I have this $1,500 amplifier and it's just as good as the one that costs $100,000. It's just, no, that's, sorry, no, not true. But, I wonder about how this even came to be, because, well, I guess it's just sour grapes, really. I mean, what other logic is there? I mean, are all the people buying really, really expensive gear that stupid that they're just buying it because it's expensive? Really? I know some of you are saying yes, but not in my experience. I think, well, let's put it this way. If someone is an experienced audiophile and knows what they're doing, and they're inching up, right? They started out with a nice $2,000 system, and they saved their money and their pennies. They wanted something better, and then they got a $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 system. If they chose wisely, I've never heard anybody say, "Oh, that was a big mistake." Almost never did that happen. And of course, when they went from the $5,000 system to the $10,000 system, no, I've never heard a customer, guys who actually put the money on the table and spent the money, not some guy saying, I'm diminishing returns thing. No, somebody who actually spent the money, they never said that. And of course, you're thinking, well, they already spent the money, they didn't want to look like a jerk, and then, no, because they could have returned it. You're not paying attention here. No, the thing is, great systems, well set up, carefully chosen. The law of diminishing returns, I think you'd have to spend a lot of money to get to that point, well north of $100,000 easily. Because I've heard these systems from time to time, and I never say my system is as good as that. That just doesn't happen. I am in awe of these systems. Oh, then there was that guy. What was his name? I went to his house. This is pre-COVID, and he had clipped quarter horns. And they were just stupendous. They were freaking amazing. And I live with Cornwalls. Cornwalls are good. Clipped horns, well set up, a whole other universe of what good is all about. No, it's something else. And oh, when I went to my friend Miguel's to hear his avant-garde duos, I think they're duos, and we were listening to Brian Eno's Apollo album. Now I know that record really, really well. I've heard it on gazillions of systems in my life, but I never heard it sound like that. Just layers of space. And I remember thinking, how did Brian Eno make this music in the late 70s or early 1980s? It's pretty much an all analog affair, and yet the density of it, the layers and details and stuff that just go unheard over most systems, but on a right system, yeah. And you'll say, there ain't no law of diminishing returns going on there. Definitely not. So, where do you stand? Do you believe in it or not? Have I convinced you? If you were a law of diminishing returns person, have I altered your state? Have I changed your mind? Have I convinced you at all? If I have, well, good. I'm happy to hear that. If I haven't, please tell me the error of my ways. No, please understand where I'm coming from. I am not putting down affordable gear. If you put together, with care, a nice $1,000 system, $2,000 system, $3,000 system, and you love it, yes, fantastic, enjoy it. I'm not putting that down at all. I love affordable gear. It's never been better. The cheap stuff, the affordable stuff is so good nowadays. If you have other priorities in your life, like paying rent and putting food on the table, yes, enjoy what you have, absolutely. I'm not trying to rain on your parade, even a little tiny bit, absolutely. I am just confronting, there we go, I'm confronting the folks out there who say, anybody who spends more than X thousands of dollars on this or that is crazy because you're just getting a little tiny bit extra. And I'm saying, no, that's not true. So what do you think? I want to hear from you guys. If you had those experiences of hearing really, really great high-end systems and were blown away, or you just think, it's kind of silly because my system sounds almost as good. Tell us all about it in the comments below. And I think we're good for today. My name is Steve Guttenberg. This continues to be, forever and ever, the Audiophiliac Daily Show. If you like it, please consider subscribing to it. And if you have already subscribed, thank you so much for doing that. You could also check out my Patreon at patreon.com/audiophiliac. There's a link to that in the description box. And of course, we got playlists for headphone reviews and amplifier reviews and speaker reviews and music reviews, plus interviews with so many super interesting people. If you haven't checked out the interviews or the Audiophiliac of the Day stuff, well, here's the link to the Audiophiliac of the Day. Those are just my friends, folks, fellow audiophiles on the journey. That's what the Audiophiliac of the Day episodes are about. And then there's other ones that are under Audiophiliac interviews. There's a link for that up there. And those tend to be people in the business, engineers, designers, that sort of thing. Then there's the interview I did with mix engineer Bob Clearmountain. And I interviewed him at an Audio Engineering Society show in New York City. And he was very generous with his time. We did the interview on the show floor. It's about 40 minutes long. It was so much fun. He's so entertaining. He had so much knowledge and experience. So I can't recommend that interview strongly enough. He was so humble, so sweet. I had the best time. Anyway, there's the link right there. And I hope you enjoy it as much as I did doing the interview. So I think we're good. Thank you again for watching. And I really, really do hope to see you back here again very, very soon. Bye-bye.